The timestamp on my bodycam reads March 14th, 2019, 6:47 a.m. I'm pulling out of the Staircase Ranger Station in Olympic National Forest, Washington State. The morning fog sits heavy between the trees, that kind of gray soup that makes the headlights on my truck useless past 20 feet. I've been a ranger here for 11 years, and mornings like this one used to feel peaceful. Used to. My name is Marcus Dwyer, and I'm starting what dispatch logged as a routine patrol of the North Fork Skokomish. River Trail System. We had reports of illegal camping in one of the backcountry zones, some hikers who'd gone off trail and set up near a protected watershed area. Standard stuff. I radio in as I park at the trailhead, the gravel crunching under my boots as I step out. Dispatch, this is Ranger Dwyer, Unit 7, beginning foot patrol at North Fork Trailhead, approximately 4-mile loop, to check reported illegal campsite near grid reference 47.51, negative 123.33, how copy? The radio crackles back. With Linda's voice, the morning dispatcher I've known for years. Copy that, Unit 7. Be advised we have fog advisory until 1400 hours, visibility under quarter-mile in valley areas. Check in at your discretion. I confirm and clip the radio back to my vest. The trail ahead disappears into white nothing after about 60 feet. I can hear the river somewhere to my left, that constant rush of glacial runoff that never stops, but I can't see it. 11 years in these woods, and I've never gotten used to. How sound travels in fog. Everything feels closer than it is, or farther. You can never really tell. I start walking, my boots finding the familiar rhythm of the packed earth trail. The first mile is uneventful. I pass the junction marker for the Wagon Wheel Lake cutoff and continue north. The fog thins slightly as I gain elevation, and I can see maybe 100 feet now, the massive trunks of old-growth cedar appearing out of the grey, like columns in some ancient cathedral. I've always loved. This part of the forest, the silence here is different from anywhere else. Not empty, but full of things that don't need to make noise. Around mile marker 2, I find the first sign of the illegal campers. Boot prints in a muddy section of trail, relatively fresh, heading off toward the river. I photograph them with my phone and note the size, maybe men's 10 or 11, deep impressions suggesting a heavy pack. I follow the prints off trail, pushing through a section of sword fern that soaks my pants to the knee. The river sound grows louder, and then I smell it. Campfire. Old campfire, at least a day cold, but distinct. I radio in. Dispatch, Unit 7. I've got evidence of the illegal camp. Following tracks approximately 200 yards east of the main trail near mile marker 2, smoke smell suggests recent occupation, moving to investigate. Linda's response is immediate. Copy, Unit 7. Be advised you're entering a cellular dead zone. Radio may be intermittent. Recommend check-ins. Every 15 minutes, I confirm and keep moving. The camp, when I find it, is wrong. That's the only word for it. Wrong. The tent is still standing, a decent 3-season backpacking setup, but the rainfly has been torn, not unzipped, torn, like something grabbed it and pulled. The fabric hangs in strips. There's a camp chair knocked over next to a fire ring, and the fire ring itself has been scattered, rocks pushed outward like something walked through it. I approach slowly, calling out. Hello, Park Service, anyone here? I need to speak with you about your campsite location. Nothing. Just the river and the fog and that heavy forest silence. I circle the tent and find the entrance unzipped. Inside, a sleeping bag, a paperback book with its spine cracked open face down. A headlamp still switched on but with dead batteries. The beam is that faint orange glow that means it's been running for days. I back out and check the perimeter. That's when I find the pack. It's about 30 feet. From the camp, wedged between two fallen logs like someone threw it there, or dropped it while running. The main compartment is open, contents scattered. I find a wallet with a Washington State driver's license. The name reads Timothy Ashworth, age 34, Seattle address. I photograph everything and try my radio. Dispatch Unit 7, I've located the campsite, appears to be abandoned, possibly under duress, tent damaged, personal effects including ID left behind, requesting you run a check on a Timothy. Ashworth, date of birth, November 3rd, 1984. Seattle residence, possible missing person situation. The radio gives me static. I try again, more static. I check my position and realize the terrain has dropped me into a depression, probably blocking the signal. I'll need to move to higher ground, but as I'm clipping the radio back to my vest, I hear it. Marcus. My name. My name, called from somewhere deeper in the woods, maybe 100 yards east toward the river. The voice is male, unfamiliar. I freeze. 11 years in these woods have taught me a lot of things. They've taught me that sound does strange things in fog, that the forest plays tricks, that the mind fills in patterns where none exist, but they've also taught me the rules, the unwritten rules that rangers pass down to each other, usually over drinks after a long shift, usually with that look in their eyes that says they're not joking. Rule number 1, if you're alone in the backcountry and you hear your name called, you do. Not respond. You do not call back. You do not go toward it. I stand very still. Marcus. Closer now. The same voice, but something in the cadence is off. It sounds like my name being read, rather than spoken. Like someone learned the shape of it, but not the feel. I start moving, not toward the voice, but back toward the trail. My hand finds my radio instinctively, but I don't key it, not yet. I need elevation. I need signal. I need to get out of this depression. The forest around me feels different now, the fog pressing closer. I realize I can't hear the river anymore. That constant rush that's been my companion for the entire hike, gone. In 11 years, I've never known the Skokomish to go quiet. Marcus, please. The voice is behind me now. I don't turn around. I walk faster. My boots finding the fern-covered slope I came down. The green fronds whip against my legs as I push through, and I'm breathing harder than I should be for this elevation, this exertion. My heart is doing. Something it hasn't done in years. Not since my first winter alone at a fire lookout. Not since the night I heard footsteps circling my cabin for 6 hours and found no tracks in the morning snow. I reach the trail and turn north, away from the trailhead, toward higher ground. I need signal. I need Linda's voice on the radio telling me backup is coming. I need to not be alone in this fog that seems to be getting thicker, even as the morning should be burning it off. A quarter mile up the trail, I try the radio again. Dispatch Unit 7 requesting immediate. Marcus, why won't you answer me? The voice is on the trail, right behind me, so close I can almost feel breath on my neck. I run. I'm not proud of it, but 11 years, and the rules and every instinct in my body say run, so I run. The fog swallows the trail ahead of me, and I don't care. I know this path. I've walked it 100 times. My boots hammer the packed earth, and my gear rattles against my vest, and I can hear my own breathing. harsh in my ears, and I can hear something else too, something keeping pace behind me. Not running, just keeping pace, like it doesn't need to run, like it knows I can't outrun it. I round a bend and nearly collide with a man standing in the middle of the trail. I skid to a stop, my hand going to my sidearm before I can think. The man is tall, thin, wearing hiking clothes that look wrong somehow. Outdated, a style I haven't seen since the 90s. His face is pale, his eyes fixed on something. Behind me, and he's smiling. Not a friendly smile, not a sane smile. "Officer," he says, and his voice is the voice that's been calling my name. "Officer, I've been trying to get your attention." I take a step back. I don't draw my weapon, but my hand doesn't leave it either. "Sir, I need you to identify yourself." My voice sounds steady, professional. I don't feel steady or professional. I feel like I'm going to be sick. The man's smile doesn't change. He tilts his head at an angle that seems wrong. For a human neck too far, like a bird examining something curious. "You hear them too," he says. "In the woods, they learn your name. They call and call and call." His smile finally fades. I stopped answering a long time ago. He looks over my shoulder at whatever's been following me, and I do not turn around. I will not turn around, because I know if I turn around, I will see something I cannot unsee, something that will follow me out of these woods and into every quiet moment for the rest of my life. The man reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out a wallet. He holds it up so I can see the driver's license in the clear sleeve. Timothy Ashworth. The same face, younger, healthier, the same Seattle address. "I've been here for a while," he says. "Time moves differently when they're watching." Then he looks directly at my body cam, directly into the lens, and says, "Tell them not to look for me. Tell them there's nothing to find. And don't come back here, Marcus." The fog behind him seems to pulse, to breathe, and Timothy Ashworth walks into it and disappears. I stand on the trail alone, my hand still on my weapon, for what my body cam timestamp says is 7 minutes. I don't remember those 7 minutes. The fog begins to lift, slowly, and the river sound returns, that constant rush that means the world is still working the way it should. I walk back to the trailhead. I don't run. I don't look behind me. When I reach my truck, I have signal again. I radio dispatch. "Dispatch, unit." "7, patrol complete. No contact with illegal campers. Campsite appears to have been voluntarily abandoned. No further action required at this time. Returning to station." Linda's voice comes back, puzzled. "Unit 7. We've been trying to reach you for 3 hours. Your last transmission was 07:30. Please confirm your status." I check my body cam timestamp. It reads 11:23 a.m. My patrol should have taken 45 minutes. "Marcus, Unit 7, please confirm." I key the radio. "Dispatch, Unit 7, confirmed. I'm fine, returning to station now." I pull out of the trailhead and drive the winding road back toward staircase. My hands are shaking on the wheel. In the rearview mirror, the fog still sits heavy in the valley I just left, even as the sun breaks through everywhere else. I file my report that afternoon. I list the campsite as abandoned, the camper as unknown, the evidence as inconclusive. I do not mention Timothy Ashworth. I do not mention the voice. I do not mention the 7 minutes I cannot account for, or the man who walked into fog and didn't come out, or the thing I felt behind me on that trail that I never turned to face. 3 weeks later, I transfer to a desk position at park headquarters. I tell my supervisor I want to spend more time with my family, which is true. I don't tell him that I can't sleep anymore, that I hear my name called in the space between waking and dreaming, that some mornings I wake up standing at my bedroom window facing the tree line behind my house. I've never spoken publicly about what happened in Olympic National Forest on March 14, 2019. I'm speaking now because 6 months ago, a new ranger, a kid named David Chen, was assigned to the North Fork patrol route. He radioed dispatch on his second solo outing to report that he'd heard someone calling his name from off-trail. He said he was going to investigate. That was his last transmission. They found his truck at the trailhead. They found his body cam half a mile up the trail, lens. Cracked memory card corrupted. They never found David Chen. The search was called off after 2 weeks. The official report lists him as a missing person, presumed deceased due to accidental fall or exposure. I know better. I know what waits in those woods for people who answer when their name is called, and I know that some questions don't have answers you can write in a report. This body cam footage was obtained through a FOIA request by independent researchers in 2023. The National Park. Service has declined to comment on its contents. Ranger Marcus Dwyer retired from federal service in 2020 and currently resides in an undisclosed location in eastern Washington. He has not entered a forested area since his retirement. The case of missing hiker Timothy Ashworth remains open. The case of missing ranger David Chen remains open. The North Fork Skokomish River Trail was closed to public access in 2021, officially due to trail damage from winter storms. It has not reopened. The timestamp on this recording reads November 2nd, 2024. I'm sitting in my living room in Spokane, and the curtains are drawn because I can't look at the tree line anymore. My name is Marcus Dwyer, and if you're watching this, it means I didn't make it through the night. I'm recording this on my phone because I need someone to understand what's happening. What's been happening since I left those woods 5 years ago. They told me it would stop if I stayed away. They were wrong. 3 days ago, I received a package at my door. No return address, no postmark, just my name written in handwriting I didn't recognize. Inside was a USB drive and a single photograph. The photograph showed me standing on the North Fork Trail, surrounded by fog, my hand on my weapon, staring at something off camera. The timestamp on the image read March 14th, 2019, 10:47 a.m. During the 7 minutes I can't remember. I've never seen this photograph before. It was taken from somewhere in the trees, from an angle. That would have required the photographer to be standing in the middle of the Skokomish River. I plugged in the USB drive against every instinct telling me not to. It contained 3 audio files. The first was my own voice, recorded during that patrol, saying words I never said. In the recording, I'm answering. I'm responding to my name being called. I'm saying, yes, I'm here, I'm coming. Over and over. For 6 minutes and 43 seconds, I'm answering a voice I cannot hear on the recording. Just my own responses, eager, almost desperate, like a man who's finally found something he's been searching for his whole life. The second file was David Chen, the ranger who disappeared, his voice, clear as day, recorded sometime after his last radio transmission. He's talking to someone or something, and he sounds calm, happy even. He's describing what he sees, and the things he describes are not trees, not fog, not anything that belongs in Olympic National Forest. He talks about stairs. Wooden stairs in the middle of the forest, leading up into nothing. He says he's going to climb them. He says they've been waiting for him. The recording ends mid-sentence like the device was switched off or taken. The third file is the one that made me record this message. The third file is my voice again, but it's not from 2019. The audio metadata shows it was recorded 3 days ago. November 30th, 2024. I'm speaking in the recording, but I have no memory of saying these words. I have no memory of November 30th at all. In the recording I say, I understand now. I know why they call our names. They're not hunting us, they're inviting us. And I've decided to accept. I woke up this morning with mud on my boots, red cedar needles in my hair, a receipt in my pocket from a gas station in Hoodsport, Washington, 20 miles from the Staircase Ranger Station, time-stamped 3:47 a.m. I don't remember driving there. I don't remember anything after going to bed the night before, but I checked. My phone's location history, and it shows me parked at the North Fork trailhead for 4 hours in the middle of the night. 4 hours I cannot account for, just like the 7 minutes on the trail. Just like every night for the past 3 weeks, when I've woken up standing at my window or my front door, or once in my car with the engine running and the GPS set for Olympic National Forest. Something is pulling me back. Something that learned my name 5 years ago and has never let go. I've tried. Everything. I moved twice, I changed my phone number, I don't go outside after dark. But last week I found muddy footprints leading from my back door into the house. They weren't mine, they were barefoot, and they came from the direction of the trees behind my property, and they led directly to my bedroom where they stopped at the foot of my bed. There were no footprints leading back out. Tonight I heard it again. My name, called from the darkness outside my window. But the voice wasn't. Unfamiliar this time. The voice was Timothy Ashworth, the hiker who disappeared, the man I saw walk into the fog and never come out. He's outside my house right now. I can see him standing at the edge of my property, at the tree line, just a silhouette in the dark. He's been there for 3 hours, he hasn't moved, but every time I look away and look back, he's closer. I called 911 an hour ago. They sent a patrol car. The officer walked my property with a flashlight while I watched from the window. He found nothing. No one at the tree line, no footprints, no sign anyone had been there. But when he came back inside to tell me everything was clear, I saw Timothy Ashworth standing directly behind him. The officer didn't see him, couldn't see him. He left and Timothy remained, and he's still there now, and he's smiling that same wrong smile, and I think I understand what happens to the people who answer their names in the woods. I don't think they die. I think they become the voice. I think they join whatever calls from the trees, and they spend eternity bringing others in, one name at a time. David Chen is probably out there too, somewhere in the dark, learning to call for hikers who wander too far from the trail. And soon, I'll be with them. I can feel it. Every night the pull gets stronger. Every night I wake up closer to the door. Every night, the voice sounds more like home. If you're watching this, don't look for me. Don't investigate. Don't go to Olympic National Forest. Or Staircase, or the North Fork Trail. And if you're ever alone in the woods and you hear your name called from somewhere you can't see, do not answer. Do not call back. Do not go toward it. Run. Run. And don't stop and don't look back and never return to that place again. Because once they know your name, they never forget it, and they have nothing but time. The timestamp on my phone reads 11:58 p.m. Timothy Ashworth is at my back door now. I can hear him tapping on the glass. He's calling my name, and his voice sounds like peace, like rest, like finally belonging somewhere after a lifetime of searching. I'm going to open the door. I'm going to answer. I think I've been answering for a long time now. I just didn't know it. This recording was discovered on a cellular device found on the kitchen table of a residence in Spokane, Washington, on November 4, 2024. The homeowner, Marcus Dwyer, 54, former National Park Service ranger, was reported missing by neighbors after failing to collect delivered packages for several days. His vehicle was located at the Staircase Ranger Station parking lot in Olympic National Forest on November 7th. The keys were still in the ignition. His wallet and phone were found on the passenger seat. The driver's side door was open. A single set of footprints led from the vehicle toward the North Fork Skokomish River trailhead. The footprints ended abruptly approximately 200 yards down the trail at the precise GPS coordinates Marcus Dwyer logged. In his final patrol report in 2019. No further trace of Marcus Dwyer has been found. The search was suspended on November 21, 2024, pending additional evidence. The Staircase District of Olympic National Forest was closed indefinitely on December 1, 2024. No official reason was provided. In the weeks following Marcus Dwyer's disappearance, the National Park Service received 17 reports from residents of communities bordering Olympic National Forest. All 17 reports described hearing unfamiliar voices calling their names from the trees after dark. All 17 reports were classified and have not been released to the public. The voice is still calling, and somewhere in the fog, in the spaces between the ancient trees, they are learning new names.